So these people felt as if they were just above the law. These family members, they felt as if they were just so above the law that no matter how they treated you, what they've done to you, they don't have to take accountability for anything that they have done to you or the hurt that they have caused you. They feel like they don't have to apologize. They think that they didn't do anything wrong. And they are they are very manipulative because they go around and retell the narrative and spin the narrative around to make it seem like they are the ones that were doing everything right and you were the only one that was doing things wrong, and they're doing this whole smear campaign, just slandering your name all around to where you don't have anybody on your side. Everybody is looking at you as if you are the problem, when really you were a victim of the circumstance. You dealt with reactive abuse. You dealt with them. You dealt with these people taking advantage of you. And when you had woke up to realize that you were taken advantage of, and all the while you were taken advantage of, these people, they didn't even appreciate you. These people barely said a thank you. These people were so, gosh darn it, ungrateful that they felt entitled to everything that you did for them. They basically would barely thank you. They would barely show their appreciation to you. They would just feel so entitled to everything that you did, and they didn't even really support you. They kind of just sat back and just let you do everything for them. They basically felt that they were doing you a favor by having you around them in close proximity, and whatever it is that you all were involved with, they felt as if because they felt that they were doing you a favor, and they felt that on return on their investment, that you're just supposed to wait on them hand and foot. You're supposed to just be there at their beck and call. You're supposed to just do everything for them. You're supposed to just, you know, basically you've become the peasant and their royalty, to be like their slave, like their servant. Like, they really treated you with such contempt and disrespect, and basically dehumanized you and treated you more as, like, I want to say property. Yeah, they treated you more as like a property versus a person. They treated you more as, thank you, they treated you more as like an opportunity instead of treating you like a person that is helping. How can I say this? Like, basically, like, they didn't respect the humanity in you. And all the while, they were very nasty to you. Like, they were rude, they were mean, they were disrespectful. They basically, wanted to control your every move, control your aspects, and at the same time, they didn't want to respect you while they were doing it. These people had that slave master mentality and energy that they were operating out of. Thank you. They were operating out of that slave master mentality. I get to control you. You get to do everything I say. When I say jump, you say how high. I am ordering you to do everything that I want you to do, and you don't get to talk back. You don't get to question me. These people had such a large ego that the only way that their ego was going to feel validated was by them taking away your power, by them dimming your light and shrinking you. These people drained you of your energy. They drained you of your light. And when you no longer were useful to these people anymore, they just discarded you like you meant nothing to them, like you did nothing for them. They can talk all they want to talk about, but the truth and the reality is going to come rushing down like flowing water in a waterfall. It's going to come smacking them in the face like that heavy winter wind in the Windy City in Chicago. They basically, the truth is going to face them whether they want to see it or not, because these people are running away from their reality. They don't want to face the reality that they actually were in the wrong. And this is not to say that you are just this completely innocent person that has done nothing wrong. And we know it takes two to tango, because there have been moments in a lot of like conflict that you all have had where you actually have done something wrong. You actually have done stuff to, rub people the wrong way. But so of course, like, you're not completely like perfect in the situation. You were an innocent person that was preyed against. However, I think y'all say that better. You were not like, you're not passing yourself off as this perfect person that was completely perfect and you did nothing wrong. You made no mistakes. That's not the case. You definitely made mistakes because you are imperfect. However, you weren't striving for perfection. You were just striving to just do the right thing. However, you were willing to take accountability for the mistakes that you have made, and you were willing to self-reflect, look at yourself in the mirror and recognize, that's where I went wrong, and this is where I could be better. This is how I can change it. You face the problem, you acknowledge and address the problem within yourself, and you fixed it. You found a solution. So you weren't repeatedly making the same mistakes. You were evolving, you were growing, you were getting better. But you see, these people they were mad that you were not behaving the way that they expected you to, the way that they wanted you to, the way that they felt they could get over on you, and the way that they felt they could come out on top of this. Because they wanted to be like, I'm doing this person a favor. I'm sitting here helping them out, and they're not doing nothing. They're not helping me. They're not doing anything. They're just whatever the case is. Because they didn't want to, they don't even grow. They're not even changing. They're not even doing anything different. They wanted to be able to, they wanted you to behave a certain way, so that way the narrative that they were spinning, they would be able to back it up. But your behavior, your actions were not like the way that they were spinning this whole narrative. So how they were explaining it, how they were claiming it to be, it was alleged. It was not the truth. It was false, because your behaviors and your actions did not back up their claim. So they were frustrated at the point that you weren't behaving the way that they were claiming you to be. So they knew that they were losing a battle in a competition that was one-sided, because they were in competition with you. They were competing with you. They wanted to come out on top. And the only way that they can come out on top was for them to just step all over you, walk all over you. That was the only way they felt that they can conquer you and defeat you, because these people had their own issues. And instead of them focusing on their own issues, their own priorities, their own lives, their own self, instead of them just focusing on becoming a better person for themselves and their family, they decided instead to utilize that energy to tear somebody else down, to break somebody's spirit, to drain somebody of their light and energy. They decided to use all of that energy to break you down and tear you down and dim your light, instead of just using that energy to focus on themselves. And no matter how hard they tried, you kept getting stronger. You kept getting back up. You did not give up. And eventually it came to a point where there was a tower moment. There was something that happened that was explosive, and it was just like, it was time for you all to go your separate ways. It was time for you all to move on. It was time for you to move out. It was time for you to go someplace else. It was time for you to leave. Because that tower moment needed to happen, because these people had no intention of doing right by you. They were going to continue to walk all over you and step on you for as long as you were around. So God had to allow that tower moment to happen so that you could leave, because you probably weren't going to leave these people alone. So something had to happen. However, they don't think that they have done anything wrong. They don't think that they should apologize or take accountability, because they lack the emotional maturity to self-reflect and be self-aware of the hurt and pain that they caused.